What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the weekly update for February 7th. We are continuing this hot streak of earnings. Yes, last week we started out at a very low level, but the bulls showed up and showed us what they were about. We had Amazon earnings last week. We had Google earnings, and that just propelled us straight back up into the bull market. But where do we go for here? We still have more earnings to come. But before we get into that, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. So this week, we still have a lot of earnings, a lot of big names out there. On Tuesday, you got Twitter, you got Cisco. On Wednesday, you got Uber, iRobot, GM, Coca-Cola. On Thursday, you got PepsiCo, you got Disney. We still have a lot of earnings to go. Can we continue up is the question. And from now, it's hard to say. I think if you look back on the previous week, we have really had quite the journey. But before we even get into that, let's go ahead and pull up the chart so we can look at what I'm talking about. Because last week we opened up here. Everybody thought we were going back down into a bear market. We were going into that crash that everybody was talking about. But with Amazon and Google to essentially pull us out of the hole, we started tearing back up. We started coming back into that bull market. We've had some sideways days to catch up that momentum, and then we just kept building and building. And then at the close on Friday, we continue to want to run. The question is, we're coming into another trend line. And that trend line, if you look at the daily, there's that top trend line you're hitting. We're coming straight into that. Now, my question is do we hit that come the futures open on Sunday night? I'm actually recording this on a Saturday night, so I, again, will not actually see what's going to happen at this particular point, but my prediction is being that we might actually gap up, tag this top of this trend line. This is futures tomorrow night. Come Monday morning, that could be a different story. We might be back down and doing a little bit of selling come Monday to reposition ourselves for the rest of the earnings for the week. Now, it's hard to tell. I've talked about this, even for myself, I've struggled about this. What is going to happen over the next couple of weeks? We did have that scare. Everybody thought that this was going to be it. In my personal opinion, I thought it had to do everything with GameStop and the strangle essentially had on the market. Because as soon as GameStop started selling off, the market recovered. We did have some fantastic earnings last week. That could help as well. But being said, there is a lot of great numbers out there. There's a lot of good news coming down the pipe. But we can't just go up. There will be, at some point, a correction. And I've talked about this next coming weeks, we're going to eventually get to a point to where we're going to start seeing some selling. Once these earnings start dying off, we're going to start selling a little bit at some point. I think we're going to need a break because I think there will be a big run this year. It's just trying to get that correction in before that happens. Now, a lot of people are predicting some really harsh pullback numbers this year. I don't see it unless there's a real black swan. I think you are coming across a bunch of old value investors and a bunch of new growth investors, right? You have a bunch of different kinds of investors nowadays that use different tools and different strategies. And like anything, you have to learn to adapt. And I think a lot of people out there, from what they've seen, nothing is ever the same, right? You have to always understand that. Even my time in my career in trading, it's always been different. It's never always been trading the same. Yes, you have familiar techniques and stuff like that, but the market always changes, and you have to be able to adapt to the market. That is a quick lesson you will learn, right? If you pull off a GameStop play, don't expect that to happen anytime soon again. But being said, the SPY, I have to see where we open up on Monday. I do believe we're going to gap up futures Sunday night, and then Monday we'll probably actually gap down overnight. Or Sunday night, excuse me. I think we gap up and we open, then we gap down coming into Monday morning. Monday, we might see some more selling. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but I think we're going to see some selling for people to get positions for the week. QQQ is back at all-time highs as well. It also broke. Something I talked about the past couple of days was QQQ and SPY were struggling to get over that resistance, and they finally got over it. We've retested, and now we're starting to shoot back up. So we got a lot of headroom. Now, even back, if we go look back on the SPY, I mean, are we looking at 400? I say 400 just because it's a nice round number. People like round numbers in the market. It's just a psychological thing. But being said, maybe we could run to 390. And then at that point, start seeing some selling. At some point, we're going to start getting a little bit red because I don't think we're just going to be able to keep running. Again, we can't. This horse can only go for so long before she runs out of gas. But being said, Tesla is a big one I want to get back into really bad. And I've been debating on this, how much of it is going to correct. Even when it came down here at that 787 mark, I felt like it could have pulled back more. I think right now what I'm really looking at, even on the daily, if you look at Tesla, I think I'm looking more at that 736 mark for an entry. I think ultimately I really want to get in here. I think Tesla's got it in it to pull back a little bit more. Tesla's not going to, I know it's got so much good stuff going for it, but it still needs that pullback. It needs a good, healthy pullback. And I'm thinking, again, that the 734 mark is where that pullback is going to happen. Anything, again, under 800 is probably more likely a buy, but I'm aiming for that 737. So we'll see what happens at that point. But again, we have to see how we open. Maybe Tesla comes back up, retest, and at that point, making, I guess you could say, a triple top coming to this point. If it does fail again here, it will sell off at that point. I think shareholders and stuff, it's normally day traders are a lot in Tesla as well, just because Tesla is so volatile. And it's a good stock to trade if you're trading, day trading or anything like that. It's one of my primary day traders. But being said, if it does come back up here to that 880 mark, try to test that 900 again, and it fails, I do believe it will sell off. I don't think it's going to continue to consolidate like this. I think we may get another pullback down to 7. Maybe at that point, we'll drop one more level again to that 733 mark. And then at that point, it will attempt to retest. We'll have to see. We'll have to play it by word. Tesla this week, I've always been keeping an eye on this one, but Tesla, I'm definitely keeping close. If it does break, I'll look for a retest and then enter. So that is another strategy with Tesla. If it doesn't pull back, at least I got the confirmation that it's broke that resistance and we're ready to rock. Square, for me right now, it's too high. I'm not looking at Square this week. Airbnb, I did try to scalp this. I scalped it a little bit on Friday, but just sideways. Everything was really sideways on Friday, which typically happens. But Airbnb, I want it lower. I want to get a good position this when we have some kind of correction. Apple, still the car news and stuff is kind of pushed it up a little bit here, but it's still struggling. A lot of big tech has been running a lot. When it runs like that, it needs a good solid pullback. I mean, it's ran for weeks on end. It does need a bit of a pullback. Facebook, same, all big tech. I'm in the same department for all big tech at this point. Right, I want Facebook down here at the 245 mark, roughly around there. For leaps, Facebook is always great for leaps. If you can find one of these solid bases like this, grab some leaps when it hits in that point. BYND, if you know the rule being with me, 110, we loading up. Etsy, it's creeping up and rallying like crazy. Pens definitely helped with this. The earnings, I think, are actually next week. I didn't see Etsy on the list. I thought Etsy was on. Yeah, I think we got one more week before Etsy actually reports earnings. So we might see some more run up on that. That might actually be pretty good. Something to keep an eye on. There is some other ones that I like a lot better than Etsy. So Etsy is not one of my top plays this week. Disney reports Thursday, so that might be, if it breaks here and starts running, it might even try to attempt to go 200. So Disney might be good because you got earnings on Thursday. That would be good to keep on watch. This is another good one, NNOX. I almost took a position in here. If this is sitting here like this tomorrow, I'll probably actually take a pretty light position. Again, I don't want to be swinging anything long term at this point because I'm waiting for the correction. A couple of days I'm okay with. NNOX is one of them. It's wedging and it's finally broke out of that wedge. Now it's consolidating here on top. If this sits here tomorrow, and actually we might get a quick wick down into here, back into this zone, the 66.56 mark. If that does happen, I will try to get into this and ride this out. Snow finally broke out. I'm no longer in this, but if you look on the daily, Snow actually looks fantastic right now. It's broken the trend. It's retested. It's on a solid support here. Snow could be a great play this week as well. So that's something else to keep in mind. I have a lot of good setups here for this week. Lemonade, another strong case here for Lemonade on the daily. It looks fantastic. Lemonade, again, I don't think reports this week. I can't remember when Lemonade was. I'm not seeing it. I think Lemonade is on the 14th or the end of the month, I think. But it looks like we got one more day or so, and this thing wants to start breaking out. So if it's later on down, if you actually know what the reporting date is, go ahead and leave that down in the comment down in the description below. Else I will try to get that to you guys ASAP. But nonetheless, Lemonade, my contracts aren't the greatest. That's why I don't trade this too often. But I think there's going to be a big move out of here. And from what this looks like, at least you can probably get like almost a 40-point move out of here or so. Yeah, about a 40-point move out of here. So if this does break out to the upside, you can definitely probably get roughly around a 40-point move. Spot, I do like Spot, but I'm waiting. Even on the daily, yeah, Spot's breaking down. So that's what I don't like about Spot right now. It's breaking down even on the daily. Let's see here. HITIF. This is one I try to actually grab on Friday for a longer term investment. I think just in the MJ space, this is another one I like a lot. But right now it's way too high. I'm not buying it when it's starting to creep up back to all-time highs again. I'm going to wait for that to pull back. Planet 13, I'm still sitting in this. We had that nice bump up. We're continuing to push up. Hopefully we can break for all-time highs and try for 7 this time. We will see. But I am writing this one out. This is a little bit longer swing. I want to kind of see where this bad boy goes. When it does get into the zone, though, the 629 mark, debating, I might throw the stop on there. Again, wait for the correction, re-enter on that one. Planet 13, I'm holding this one. This one actually looks beautiful on the daily as well. So we've got this nice wedge going on the daily. Perfect entry on Friday, Monday. If it's just still holding here, again, perfect entry on Very Good Butcher as well. So I'm in this one, holding this one for the breakout and letting her rip. So we'll see how that one goes. And essentially the price target on that would probably be almost $7 there at the 698 mark, all-time high. Evogen, I'm really upset about this one because it's at 9 now, and I had it down here at 4. I said it was too high. I kept saying it was too high, and then she just kept going. So, but I do like that one for this year. If there's a correction, this would definitely be one to hold for the year. Planters is another one. I almost took a bigger position on this Friday. I wanted to see what was going to happen because looking at the market in general, the market looked like it was hitting that top trend line or getting ready to. I think come Monday, we're going to open up down, and I didn't want to jump into this thing and then have it come right back down into the zone. So Planters is a big one I love for Monday. Again, there's this nice wedge and breaking out, and you also have the 20 pointing up underneath it. definitely bullish signs. So looking at that for Monday as well. TAN, I'm not interested in. ALLM, I took this for a longer swing. It's renewables, so this is one of those ones I want to kind of hold on throughout the year. And they renew like different plastics and a bunch of other different things, and they can make everything biodegradable. It's actually quite interesting. I highly suggest you look into this company because even though it is a penny and it's now $1 or almost $1, but even though it's one of those really risky stocks, I don't typically like to just throw penny stocks out there because that's not the kind of person I am. I typically like to trade the beta stocks. But being said, this AAL, it has renewable plastics, and so much so that they can go into any company and essentially refurbish everything that they have in that company to make everything renewable, which is fantastic, right? It's something that's going to be needed in this administration. So being said, I think this one is really going to run this year. Again, I'm trying to hold this for the long term. If this does get crazy, because a lot of these penny stocks can get very volatile, I'm definitely going to be playing stops on this if it gets to a point to where, we get up to around that like $3-4 mark or something. We get some parabolic move out of here. I will more likely put a stop and possibly get out at that point. So being said, just be aware of that. Again, my positions, I highly suggest you be extremely agile and take it upon yourself to manage your own risk like you should. And that's why there's a scrolling bar on the bottom of this video. I'm not a financial advisor, so even though I may give plays out, may give setups, just be aware you have to manage that position. If something goes haywire, if something doesn't look correct, it's better to get out than stay in and write it down or sit in something that you don't want to be sitting in if it's not something you believe in, right? Again, I go every play I go into I have a different strategy for every play that I go in. I know if I'm going to swing, I know if it's going to be a day trade, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. I know all that stuff ahead of time, so just be aware of that. MP, really liking this one. It's wedging. I'm waiting for it to come back down here into this 29-21 mark. I think once we get to that point, I want to get leaps back in this guy. So I do have alerts set here. As soon as it gets back down in this mark, I will definitely be grabbing a couple leaps on this. Again, if you don't know what MP is, essentially, renewable resources and stuff for the batteries and a bunch of other components, your cell phone, all that stuff for that new age. You need to look into MP materials and check it out. It's also US bound. So again, administration will definitely be looking at this as one of the primary runners, I believe. TSIA, I do like this. Another for the renewable resource play. I do want it to come back down. It is starting to hold here at 16. I don't know if I'll ever get it back down by 12. I had a nice run up here, back up to 16, 17, but we'll see if that does come back down. Again, there's other good plays this week. And again, waiting for that pullback. STPK, I like this one a lot for energy play. It is in a upward channel. But being said, if it can come back down into this 29.71 mark, I'm more than apt to take another position in this one as well. More consolidation on this. It's actually in a good zone and on the 200, as long as it doesn't break the 200, which normally these lower cap stocks, they hold that 200 really well. NIO, not interested in. Everybody's been playing the CCIV. I feel like you're playing Russian roulette when you play CCIV. So many people are wary. I don't even know a lot about Lucid, but a lot of people have been really sleepless nights holding on to that bad boy. Bluebird, I do like this one. This one actually on the daily looks really good. So you got this break, and you're getting this pull back down to the 20 right now. That's a very bullish move. So if this comes back down, and there's a zone here. So if this comes back down to that 2109 mark, so 2109. So you're looking at if it comes back down to this 200 moving average almost, or close to it, I can definitely guarantee you this bad boy is going to rip. Maybe try to get back up to all-time highs again. I like Bluebird and GA. It's a love-hate relationship with this guy. I do like the fundamentals on this guy a lot. On the daily, it looks fantastic. It looks like it finally broke out of that channel. We are riding that 220 EMA as well. So this might actually have a pretty good $5, maybe even $10 move out of here from NGA. Again, end of the month, they're supposed to announce the merger and stuff with this one as well. So, and I think that's probably sitting at 40. Now might be a good time. Again, I want to see how everything plays out tomorrow. That's why I didn't do too many plays on Friday, because I definitely wanted to see how everything is playing out. Not in that or playing that right at this moment. Space, I like space, but I want it down. Nndm, I like this. This is also wedging as well, beautifully here. I might actually consider taking a position in this as well. I mean, there's a lot of good plays this week. It really depends on how Monday comes, right? The futures can open whatever it wants, but it's not going to matter until Monday morning, right? When that bell rings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, right? That's when you're really going to find out what's going on. PayPal, I'm not interested in. 3D printing actually has a great setup as well on the daily. This is something else I've been looking at. So you get another flag here, another pennant here. I can see these are kind of moves I like. I like the long the bleed off from consolidation plays, and I love these pennant plays as well. These have some big moves out of them. Also, being said, 3D printing is also one that I am really looking at and really liking as well. Bingo. There is just a lot of plays this week. We've all been waiting. I'm hoping that we hold. If we do hold, come this week, I think we can get some monster moves this week coming up. NVIDIA, not worried about. Let me see if there's any other plays. Amazon. I'm not really worried about Amazon. I don't typically play Amazon or Google very often. See pins. Snap had one heck of a comeback come Friday. That sell off, and they just pulled all right back up like nothing happened. So that people cult following Snap. That's going to be another rule if you're going to follow me, that if Snap at all sells off for some ridiculous reason, I mean, if there's legitimate reason, okay, whatever. But most of the time, it's just some ridiculous reason why it sells off. Pick it up, grab some leaps, whatever you got to do. Again, not financial advice, but Snap is has one of those cult followings that it bounces right back very fast. Let me see if there's anything else. I think there was a couple other ones. I just can't remember right off the top of my head. Skills, SNDL. This could be another good one as well. I went with the HD one as far as the MJ space goes. This HD, it's HITIF as opposed to SNDL. I like this one more because this is an MJ space. It's essentially selling you the shovel, right? So it sells all the MJ stuff that helps support MJ itself. So that's what I like about it, is that you're actually essentially buying into the shovel, which, you know, if you ever heard that statement about, you know, who made the most amount of money during the gold rush, it was always the people selling the shovels, not the people actually looking for the gold. So just be aware of that. Always be looking for the shovel and not for the actual piece of gold. DraftKings, I don't know why I didn't even think about this one. Super Bowl this weekend, and I'm sure those are going to be rocketing over the weekend. If you haven't had a position in that already, you're way too late on that one. Numbers already came out as well for it's the biggest betting ever done during a Super Bowl as well. I mean, you got a bunch of people sitting on cash. I did go over through one of my videos on that too. I think it was my my number one stock for this year, and saying in that video I talked about how you know, right now everybody's sitting on like at least, I think it's at least like 6 or 7% more in savings money just because of the pandemic. People have been holding on to cash. And so once everybody gets the okay and everything's going back to normal and whatnot, I really think there's going to be a massive flood amount of money coming into the market. And at that point, we're really going to just turn on the jets and hit warp speed at that point. ZM was also one I wanted to talk about. That was the other one, I think. Yeah, on the daily, it looks fantastic, actually. If it does come back down to this 290 or 391 mark, well, 391 mark, let's see here. I don't think we'll get, if we can get a retest down here, that would actually be great. I don't know if that's going to happen, but if we do get a retest down here, I'll be grabbing in this too, because I think this is really going to, I've talked about this often and earnings and everything coming up. I think this one, and I did hear some other rumors about this one as well. I don't know if they're proven. That's why I don't want to share those rumors. Again, they're just rumors. I don't want to mislead anybody, but this could get a parabolic move here pretty soon. Being said, we'll have to see. I am not interested in it unless it comes back down to the 396 mark and tries to retest this. At least try to, because this looks very bullish. This 20 and 50 that are getting ready to cross here and pointing up underneath the candle. That's a very bullish move getting ready to happen. And so if this does pull back, I'll be looking at leaps for ZM this week and seeing how that goes. But being said, yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. As far as the charts go, again, just be mindful of everything. There's a lot of good setups this week, but I am recording this on a Saturday again. So you still got the futures that are going to be moving tomorrow night, and then you got until Monday morning. So you have a lot of time that things can change, and we are coming close to that top trend line. Not saying it's going to completely reject this, but it may and it may not. I mean, there's always a 50% chance it's going to be red or green. So being said, just be mindful of that. If it is a pullback, just be mindful that it could be a little bit more than just a pullback, right? We have a lot of earnings. What we've definitely seen is every Monday before the earnings week, we do get quite a bit of a bleed off, and then kind of sets us up for the week. Again, we do have some big companies, but a lot of the bigger tech companies have pretty much are finishing out, and so you're not going to see too many huge companies. There's still some great companies out there that have earnings, but being said, we got a couple weeks, and I think if we're going to run, we might run another week or two before this thing really dies out. So being said, just be safe, manage risk, and let's go make some money. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.